If you want to get out from, like, if you want to break through, if you want to go from this level to that level, you can't be like, okay, I'm just gonna tip my toes in the water. I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna see it. I'm just gonna play around. I'm just gonna do. That's typical. That's average, man.
What's the journey, man? What's the journey? How can you replicate it? How can you apply some of those principles and ideas?
The number one thing that I can sincerely say that absolutely changed everything, I worked on myself first, period.
So here's the formula. Learn something new, and then do it and implement it.
Against all odds, right? Against, everything, they persevered.
I didn't have to be that smart guy that's gonna go out and create all this tech stuff.
I had found all of these other hidden loopholes within the eBay system, like alternative ways to make money on eBay.
And they did it in this industry. They did it in online marketing. All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Vic Strazios here with you, and welcome to The Journey. This is episode number 11, and I'm very excited to host these for you. If you're watching these episodes, if you watched any of our episodes of The Journey, you know how we do it, right? So, we get to dissect success stories. People that are worthy to be invited on the journey, and people that have done something significant enough, to be able to share their story and hopefully inspire entrepreneurs just like yourself, just like myself, the world, right? With what they have done, what they have achieved, with one intention in mind, right? How do we take some of those ideas? Do we take some of those nuggets and, just thoughts, perhaps, maybe the mindset, maybe, a technology they use, maybe an idea they have implemented, maybe a tool they have used, or maybe just how they went about building their business that, allowed them to have a breakthrough that they were looking for, right? And how can you model that? How can you replicate that? Well, today, I'm very excited to interview one of the best in the industry when it comes to her field, in what she's doing. And this person, I'll bring her on here in just a moment. She started out from ground zero, just like all of us, man. If you look at your history of, look back as an entrepreneur, right? If you've been doing this for any period of time, if you're just getting started, if you're an affiliate marketer, maybe you're in multi-level marketing deal, maybe you're an information marketer, maybe you are product creator, maybe you're a publisher, maybe you're a speaker, an author. It does not matter who you are. Heck, maybe you're a photographer, maybe you're a videographer, maybe you're somebody who is working on technology, side of things, right? What's really cool about what we do here with The Journey is that it's all about ideas, right? And so this person that I'm going to be interviewing here in just a moment started out from ground zero and was able to build her way up all the way to the top to now where, she gets to work with literally, the who's of the industry, top celebrities, top companies. And I want to know one thing. How did she do that? Okay, so everybody give a warm, 4% welcome to the one and only Tanya Willis. Tanya, welcome to The Journey.
Hi, Vic. It's good to be here. Very excited. Hi, everyone.
How are you today, Tanya?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for taking the time to get on the journey. I know you're very busy these days and you're everywhere. Seems like, looking at some of the stuff that you've been doing just from your social media, you get to travel, you have travel, plans coming up here for some, other companies you're doing, work for and etc. So I appreciate the time, Tanya, and I appreciate you getting on here to share your story. I wanted to invite you here for one specific reason, and that is this: the journey. How did you become who you are today? And, and we get to dissect, what some of the things that you have done to, that allowed you to have a breakthrough in your business. I want to know, you get to work with a lot of marketers, a lot of, celebrity personalities, a lot of different companies. Give us a snapshot of where is your business at today? Like, what are you doing today? What's the lifestyle like today for Tanya Willis?
Well, it's my pleasure to be here and my pleasure to share my story with you guys. At this moment, I'm traveling. I'm traveling probably a couple times a month. With the different companies. I also doing local portfolios. I'm working with different businesses, but only 2 years ago I could only dream about doing so, and right now it's like basically my dream lifestyle when I get to travel, get to meet people, socialize with people, build my engagement and work my way up there.
2 years ago. So that means, are you saying that you got started doing what you're doing right now just 2 years ago?
Yes.
Okay, now that I want to talk about. How did you do that? Because right now you get to, like, are you allowed to name, I mean, I know you work with like 7-figure income earners. I know we hired you for our companies. You get to work with like literally companies that do hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, in revenue, in our industry, and photography is primarily what you do. This is your passion, but it's a giant industry. You know, there's so many photographers out there. There's so many people that are aspiring to do something significant. But here you are in just 2 years, you got yourself out to the top. So Tanya, I want to dig into that story if you don't mind, because that's what I do on the journeys. I get to uncover, how did you do what you do? Give us, let's do this. So there's going to be several groups of people watching this, right? So there's obviously, we're streaming this live to the 4%. So there's a lot of, live audiences watching us here in the 4% group. And there is also going to be people who will be watching this perhaps as a replay all around the world, right? From different fields, different industries. And I have one thing in mind, simplicity, right? How do we get as many of those ideas that helped you to break through and take your business to the next level that maybe a complete beginner can implement? Maybe somebody who is aspiring entrepreneur, maybe you can inspire that person. Maybe there is a spark that they'll get from watching this interview. And then, we're going to dig into some of the more advanced type stuff. And so we're going to talk about this. So let me take it from the beginning here, Tanya. Give us a backstory. You said you started 2 years ago. Where is Tanya Willis? What's your background? What have you done before? Have you always been an entrepreneur? Have you always done photography before? What was your backstory? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in a small town of Russia called Uriazan, and I finished my high school and college on bookkeeping there. So I realized that bookkeeping is something I don't really want to do. I like to travel and I like to meet people. So as I was traveling, there was something missing. I didn't know what exactly I like to do. And I always knew that I will always do something that I'm passionate about.
Right.
So when I was in Canada traveling with my family, and we were going different, places in America and Canada. And I remember taking my camera and I'm snapping 2,000-3,000 pictures in just one day. And then people were asking me, maybe this is your passion. And I start really thinking about maybe this is my passion. Maybe this is something I would take to the next level and be really looking at it seriously. So that's what I started to do. And it was, 2 years ago.
So you did not grow up with passion for photography necessarily. You did not know, you discovered this later on as you were just playing it, just by accident, really, sounds like.
Yes.
That's very interesting. So let's talk about this, Tanya. So how does one go from discovering their passion, right? Maybe somebody's watching this, they're like, man, I don't know what my passion is right now yet. I'm here to tell you, my friend, look for it. You'll find it, right? It's something that you will resonate with. But here's my question, though. So many people have a passion, but they don't understand or are not able to turn their passion into profits, right? In other words, so if you're passionate about something and you can make a living out of that passion, then you have a perfect combination and your life is awesome. I mean, you love what you do. You wake up in the morning, every day looking forward to the day because you live your passion, right? How does one go from having a passion, discovering their passion, to turning that into reality? Walk us through the steps. Do you remember, now let's turn tables here to start talking about a little business. What were your first steps toward, implementing or taking your passion and turning it into a business channel, if you will?
Well, I wanted to turn my passion into business as I realized I really love taking pictures, so why not to turn it into business? And when I first started, I really was focusing on two things: how to find clients locally and how to find clients online, because I really want to be traveler photographer. Traveler photographer, though, I realized it a little bit after. When I first started photography, I was going into food photography, so I would be more going into restaurants. I would volunteer for work, and then I realized food photography is not really for me. because I was looking at my pictures and I was looking at perfection. I wanted to make it perfect for the restaurant, and I didn't really know if this is perfect picture or not. Maybe I should put more crumbs on the plate, or maybe I should make something else to make this picture even better. But when I start talking and engaging with people in like in colleges, in local communities, I start realizing that I really like portrait photography. When I take pictures of people, there is no right and wrong. There is no too dark or too light. There is nothing like that. There is only your creative part comes out. So I realized that I like take portraits, and I want to travel with it. I don't want to be a local photographer. I know I can do, pictures here locally for model portfolios and do all my work here locally. I wanted to explore and I wanted to meet people. Now, how do I do that? I basically have to think about relationships.
So Tanya, if I may interrupt you here, because I'm trying to absorb and I have an aspiring entrepreneur's hat on right now, right? So I'm fishing for the nuggets, and what you just shared with us is tremendous. So what you're saying is, look, man, I decided not to settle for just taking pictures of the restaurant foods or the food at the restaurant, right? I wanted to be a traveling photographer. I wanted to take photographs from places all across the world, which is another level, which is like, hey, I want to live my passion, and I want to live it on my terms, doing what I'm ultimately set out to do, right? Now, before we start talking about that side of this next level stuff, right? Let me ask you this: how does one go? Because you just went through it really, really quickly. You decided to take pictures, and then all of a sudden you're taking food, pictures of food for restaurants, right? How did you get into that? How does one go? I mean, you just walk into the restaurant and say, hey, let me take some pictures of your food, or how does that work? Tell me that.
Well, I like to accomplish people with ideas.
Right.
So to me, food was not really something that I wanted to do business. So when I come to a different business, instead of say, hi, my name is Tanya, I'm a photographer, I look at the menu and I say, hey, it's a great menu. Wouldn't it be nice if, nice picture of your food would be next to it, and you look and you get more customers. So I like to approach people with ideas, and food just come to my mind. Well, it was not really my plan. It was not really something that I just wanted to try something new, and I did. It actually did very well. Every time I would go to a restaurant and I would say, hey, your menu is great. Picture would be really nice here. They would usually work with me.
So you just simple as that. I mean, people. See, here's the thing, and this is brilliant. Like what you're just sharing is so good, because what you guys are watching this, right? Fish for ideas, right? Read between the lines. Like it doesn't matter what you do. What I'm hearing here is just simplicity at its best, and just thinking outside. Heck, not even having a box, because so many entrepreneurs, they start out and they think, well, in order for me to get this client, or in order for me to run this campaign, it has to be this way because that's what everybody else is doing. Maybe I have to send a proposal or go through some sort of an agency or whatever to get to the restaurant owners, or to get to the restaurant with my idea. Here you are, you're just walking into the restaurant and you're just what? Just saying, hey, here's an idea for you guys, right? Simple as that.
Yes.
Perfect. So what's next? So you go from restaurant to now you wanted to live life on your terms, traveling, doing photography. How do you transition?
Well, I start really realizing that I love building relationships, and I love just communicate with people. And not only that, I take portraits of people, I actually see different expression, I meet different people. So I wanted to really find out how, if you want to travel, you obviously need to know more people outside of your local area. So I wanted to find out who do I want to do business with? Who are those people who I want to work with? Who need my pictures? Who need my work? And I start to exploring. Well, since I'm starting my business, I want to know how how business works, how to be good at sales, how to be good at marketing. Not only just take pictures, I have to be good at all the areas in my business. So I start look after people who are doing marketing, selling, and I really combine it all together. Like if they selling products, if they're selling and market and brand their names. Not only that I can learn how to brand my name, I also can build relationship, and they can keep me in mind for pictures for future. So that's how I figure out who I want to work with.
Identify your market. So in other words, you did a lot of homework. You sat down, you said, hey, who do I want to work with? How does that
Yes.
going to look like? What are they doing? What do they need? And so what happened next? How do you make that a reality? What was your first breakthrough? Here's what I'm looking for. What's that? Walk me through that first breakthrough. How did you start? How did you get your first client? Let's start there.
Well, I identify not only community of people I want to engage with, I start to basically narrow it down to a company. So I would look through a company, I would really want to work with this company. And I start to engage with people in this community, in this particular company. I start to find out what they do, where they going for events, who speakers are, and I start following each and every one of the people in this particular company to the point where
You're talking follow. You're talking Facebook, social media.
yes, correct.
Okay.
So, and as the people looked at Tanya, Willis always comment, always engage, always there, not to say like, oh, I'm a photographer, hire me, but in a way of, hey, maybe you need something, or come or do something to the community. And then if they look at my page, I always use the camera. So I brand my name in a way of, I don't have to say I'm a photographer, but I will be always with the camera. So when you go to my page, you will see I'm a photographer. So that's how within like 6 months me doing so, really engaging, I got my first traveling event when company hired me, and I was taking pictures for them.
Okay, now, so there's what you share with right now is we can. I mean, I can spend another probably 2 hours just dissecting, just really digging into the into what you just shared over the last 2 minutes. Identifying your market and this whole approach of service is what I'm hearing, right? It's not like, hey, look at me, or because you're starting out being nobody, just like you guys watching this right now. I'm trying to bring this and condense this down to the level to where it will be applicable and implementable by anybody, regardless of your industry, regardless of what you do. Does that make sense, right? So what you did is you came about it, or you went about it from a position of a servant, right? Which is something that is huge. So many people don't understand it. If you have a list, right? How do you approach your list? How do you become the Tanya Willis, quote unquote, right, for your list? Well, there is so much noise out there in competition. How do you stand out? And that's coming from a position of being a servant. Find out what do you guys need. Find out how can I deliver what you need? How can I help you? Another thing, what I noticed and what I heard you talk about, Tanya, and this is huge, very, very powerful. I hope everybody got this, which is subliminal messaging about who do you want to be perceived as, right? I say this, the last thing that anybody ever wants to be perceived as just another, fill in the blank, just another photographer, just another marketer, just another entrepreneur, just another, affiliate marketer, whoever, right? So there is generalists and there are specialists, right? So you wanted to build a brand very deliberately. I'm not sure, was this like thought out, or did this just come to you naturally, or did you, learn about this somewhere, or were you a student of the business to where, you started to brand yourself as a photographer subliminally? Every picture is you with a camera, there's a consistency in your message, right? Which is a big lesson here, you guys watching this. Write this down. Consistency in the message, consistency in your perception, right? Consistency in your appearance, which is huge. How did you land? How do you get the company to hire you? What specifically did you do? Can you walk me through? I'm looking for that jam, Tanya. I'm looking for, what's the breakthrough? How did that happen? Do you remember the approach? Do you remember, was there a work that you did for them? Was there, did you just come to the owner and say, hey man, hire me, I'm the best? How did you go about it?
No, I didn't. I didn't do any of that. It's simple engagement where I approach people with like engaging with them and building my brand at the same time. But you have to be like unique. If you look at your social media, there is a lot of people will just basically say what they do, where they go, where they live, or what they have. If you want to be unique, if you want to like approach people in a different way so they actually look at you, what 99% people are doing, you'll be the 1% that not doing exactly and do kind of like the opposite. So I didn't want to show in my messages where I live, what I'm doing. All I wanted is to show my work, but not really talking about my work. Let people talk about my work. So when I approach people, instead of um, talking about pictures that I've done for them, I let them to expose and engage on my wall. So that way, the engagement is going. So my own post, I can be creative. I can be presenting myself as a photographer in my post, or I can do so many different things like something about family, something about life, something about business, whatever what I want to share.
Right.
But my work will be presented by other people. And when I start sharing that technique and people see my work within 6 months, they say, hey, not only I see you, Tanya, as a photographer, I also see all my friends having pictures done by you. I see all these good things that people say about you. I really want to work with you. I had people who say, hey, you know what, Tanya, I really been thinking, like I've been dreaming to have pictures done by you. And it's great when people say that. And this is simple as that. It's just building relationships.
I remember, one of the things that we talk about a lot here in the 4% and everybody that I teach, I say, look, to be successful, to be truly successful, right? I don't know any true great success story where that person did not go through a short-term inconvenience to get to greatness. Does that make sense? And so I remember when we were first, hiring you for our company to do our, group and company photos. You shared with me a story about how you did things that, that were to normal people that would seem to be like crazy, right? Some of the things you want to talk about it. You don't have to mention the names of people or anything like that, but just tell the story because it's a powerful thing of how you went about getting and getting yourself into the community that you wanted to be in. There was strategy. There was just doing things that normal people would never do. To get to where they want to go. Talk about that.
It's made me remember one thing. When I first started from scratch, right? So I had people literally do not understand what I'm doing. And it's like friends and family, the people who were next to you, they were looking at me all of a sudden, start spending so many hours on Facebook talking to people I don't even know. So they were like, what are you doing? Why are you spending so much time on this relationship? Well, in my mind, I knew what I'm going after. But sometimes like family and friends, it's not like they're against you. They want to protect you. Like, what are you doing? Like,
right.
It's not working for you. But like deep inside what you're doing, what you're going after, it's going to work for you and you are going to become who you want to become. And I just kept, I kept on spending time first in building relationship with it. It was a little bit frustrated to talk with people I don't know, I never met. I just knew they are in this company. I want to work with them. I want to meet them one day. I want to learn from them. So I knew what I was doing. But it's funny how when you first started, it always frustrates you in a way of, you're stepping into unknown. You don't know exactly what you're doing, but you kind of like feel this is the right thing. That makes sense. So.
Tell everybody that story where you had to travel to you know what I'm talking about? the one that you told me off camera. This
Yeah.
is very, very powerful in a way that it opens people's mind to like what's possible. You know, when I was a young kid, right, and you know, I was selling some life insurance, 19 years old, and my mentor. Here I am was a totally green guy, right? I mean, not like literally in color, but green to the industry, right? Green to that profession. And my mentor was somebody who was earning $2 million a month. And he said, hey, if you want this bad enough, if you want to be the best, here's what you do. You find out people who are the best at this company and find out where they're going, right? And try to get as close to them as possible. If you know that they're traveling from California to New York on a plane, try to get a ticket and try to sit next to him and utilize that time together just to to ask questions, right? To me, that was a crazy idea, but I know exactly what he was talking about. And this is something similar to what you did in the beginning to get you to where you are today. Talk about that.
Yes. Well, I had a similar story because when I first started, I knew exactly who I want to attract. So I was watching people who are, next to town, like close to Toronto, for example, or anywhere in Canada. And there was one leader, I've been following her and I've been talking to her, and at first it would be like, oh my God, it's unreachable. And then I sent her a message and I say, well, I see you coming to Canada. I would love, can I just volunteer and take a few pictures of you, just spend some time with you, because I really want to learn business ideas, to masterminds with you. Why not to just spend the afternoon together? And she was a little bit surprised because, are you really taking our plane and you're going from your town to mine just to spend the afternoon? It was like, it's different, but I really was set on getting the names and getting the relationship. I saw value in it. So it's not because of, I was thinking okay, I'm gonna meet this person and maybe in the future I'm gonna have a photo shoot. It's nothing like that. It was more based on you invest your time and money in your relationships, and then after you get people who not only following you but always supporting you in the future.
So you took a leap of faith. So you traveled to see this leader, and you did. Did you take? I mean, you're hesitating a little bit here. Because, I mean, you told me the story before that. You said, I think you said you took some photos of her at no cost. You gave her some photos. Is that how you went about it? Don't be. I mean, here's what I'm trying to get to, Tanya. So many times in business, people think that well, I have to go this route just because everybody else is going this route, right? Sometimes in business, like when I'm building my list, I want to think, okay, what are some of the ways? Maybe get a pen and paper, right? Get a pen and paper and start writing out ideas. How can I be different? What can I do that is like totally crazy, off the wall, but it would make me stand out, right? For my subscribers, for my list, for my people that I'm serving. And what are different ways? What are like if you just come up with like 3 different ideas for how can you be unique for your people that you're serving, just 3 ideas per day, you will have no competition. I mean, you will get to the level to where you will dictate, and you will decide what life you want to live, and you will just live it, just because there is going to be nobody that will be playing at your level that you're playing at. Make sense? And so this is like what I'm trying to get to is, like whatever your dream is, right? Don't let anything, don't let the community, don't let the world tell you how you should go about reaching that dream, because you are creative enough. Everybody watching this, you're creative enough to get that. Do you want to talk about that story, Tanya, or do you prefer not? Because I don't want to put you on the spot. I know like everything we talk about here, you guys on a journey, this is raw. She has no idea what questions I want to ask her. We're just going. I'm trying to, get as much value for the viewers as possible. By keeping it raw and real. And this is kind of like, what we do here on the journey is keeping it totally raw and real.
Oh yeah, I can tell a little bit about this story. When I met this girl and when we sat down, we were talking and masterminding. One of the things that I didn't expect And pretty much that's how it all started, with people sharing my work. When we met and I took pictures of her, not only she took cell phone pictures with us hanging out together and posted it on social media publicly, so all her audience, all her followers start to say, right, who is Tanya Willis? Who is Tanya Willis, right? So she did that post. Then I sent her pictures. She did picture post with what I took, my professional picture. Then she did another post with me taking, like me doing selfies with her together. So she did like about 3 to 4 posts about hanging with Tanya Willis. This is Tanya Willis' work. This is, you know, she's amazing. I met her. And her following within this company, because she was one of the leaders in the company I was following, they start to really seeing, oh, Tanya Willis taking pictures. Well, we're having an event coming up. I want to hire Tanya Willis. So now she gave me that idea pretty much of not me showing my work, of meeting people, meeting influencers, and meeting people who you want to attract business with, work with them and let them share your work, and it's really going to be working fantastic.
So you started to build your credibility by borrowing credibility from an already established influencer in that particular company, which is, and again, if you guys are watching this right now, man, this is like bim, 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 you know, bells should be going off right now in your head. If you are somebody who's just starting out, right? I did this myself as well. I leveraged other people on teams that were successful to build me up, right? Somebody starting out, they're like, well, I'm nobody, I'm not known to anybody, nobody knows me, this little mini me, and people go to a self, you know, pity party, right? Well, everybody starts at the same level, which is ground zero, you know, everybody starts from the beginning. So what you just shared is very powerful, because you leverage somebody else's influence and you borrowed that credibility to build you up, right? So, Tanya, talk to me about, I want to cover different things. I know that you are very particular about the work that you do, and you have this level of standard that you don't allow yourself to fall below, right? This almost perfection-like. How important is that to you, and why is it important?
To be perfect at what I do.
Right. So I notice, you know, there's a consistency of quality of work that you put out there in the marketplace. In other words, like, I don't see you putting out just an amateur-looking picture or image. I know you're an imagery branding expert right now in the industry, and there is some really cool stuff that you're working on. Like, you know, I don't know if you want to share maybe later on, but you have a product that you're working on coming out. There is a big demand for what you do, and the knowledge for what you know in the marketplace. But you're a little bit different in a way that you don't post things that would look amateur, you know, on your Facebook profile, in your work, you know, out there publicly. Is there a reason for that? Is there, like, why is perfection, or being, you know, keeping this really high standard of quality important to you?
Well, it's a great question. First, when I thinking about like posting, think about when you log into your social media, and would you like if you see someone posting all over, like post after post after post, even if it's a great post. So for me, I thought that consistency is good, but not in a way of you're just keep posting and posting and posting something. Just keep it more like mystery about you. And as far as like we all want to share all good things in our life, the more mysterious you are about yourself, even though you have great success in life, you have so many things going on, if you're going to be mysterious about it, you attract more people. Unless in my case, I attract more people being a little bit more mysterious about what not necessarily sharing what I'm doing or where I'm going. What I like to share is more like inspiring, because when I wake up in the morning and when I look at my social media or read a book, I want to inspire myself to get this energy, get up and do something like really, really cool. So when I look on social media, when someone really make like post like inspirational posts, quotes, or anything like that, I like it. So if I like it, I really want to look up for people, my like role models. So I follow the certain people who I want to follow, and I learn from them. And I learn how they post. I learn from people what they say. It's not like just my ideas and how I roll with this on social media. I learn from different people. I have different people who like mentors, and just basically one step at a time, one day at a time, learning and doing and posting something different.
Awesome.
But
Hey, let's talk about engagement. You know, now that we're on this topic of social media, I mean, social media is huge right now. I mean, Facebook is booming. There is Instagram. You know, this whole idea of, you know, building engagement. The world is getting smaller and smaller. You know, when it comes to like the internet, you know, everybody's connected nowadays, right? I like the idea that you mentioned, by the way, about keeping a certain outlook about yourself publicly. You know, that mystery is one of the key areas, or one of the key things that will keep you, you know, keep people coming back to you. I like the idea that you don't allow negativity to, you know, to be surrounded with negativity, right? There's so many people I see out there, you know, they're posting, hey, I'm having such a bad day today. Well, it's like, what is that gonna get you? You know, I mean, who are you attracting? So what you put out is what you're gonna attract, right? If you wanna attract quality, you're gonna put out quality. That's, I guess, the you know, the big lesson there. Let's talk about engagement. What I noticed is you have an unusually high engagement with your audiences on social media. It's like your engagement is through the roof. I mean, I know some people that, you know, have million followers or likes on Facebook, and they're getting, you know, when they do a post, you know, they do a good post. They might get, you know, 100, 200 likes, or, you know, responses, 60 comments. You know, I noticed when you post something, you know, just relative, you know, percentage-wise, right, based on how many followers you have versus how many, you know, those followers are engaging with you, it's ridiculously insane. I mean, it's through the roof. I mean, I have not seen anybody else with engagement being as high as yours. Is there, you know, was there a strategy behind it? How do you go about doing that? Is this something that, you know, other people can perhaps model after? You know, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Well, there is a strategy behind it, but you just have to be unique, and you have to be consistent about your work, about your post. You really have to, if you really want to high engagement, you know, because I've seen people who start with pretty much scratch, how I started, and they grow, but they grow a little slower. It's just a way of being like, surround yourself with the communities and just be, it's personal relationship building. So it's not like you're looking for millions of people following you and millions of likes. It's just one relationship at a time. You're talking with one person at a time, and then they're watching you, and then they see what you post, and then they follow you. Then you go to the next person, and they watching you, and they see what you post, and they follow you, and then they want to work with you when they're ready. And that's how my engagement grow from basically like 5 to 10 likes, whatever I'm posting, to up to 500, 600 likes.
So you focus on quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
Like, you don't care about having 1 million followers that don't engage. You would much rather have, you know, fewer that engage,
See, to me,
which makes total
to
sense.
me, engagement is like not amount of likes. It's more like people who are potential clients and customers. So I can have like 300 likes or 10 likes, but what likes do to me?
Right.
Like, if they don't do anything to me, why would I care about likes?
Right.
But if they are my potential customers, why not to really build relationship with them, and they're gonna come back to like you. But it's not for the number of likes I'm getting. It's just I care about more for relationships.
You know, it's funny because I know some big name marketers, and and what they do is they just go out there, they just buy engagement. They're like, hey, I'm gonna pay whatever the amount of money, to get me X amount of likes or comments, or it's like, dude, why are you doing that? I mean, what is that gonna get you? At the end of the day, it's all just like fabricated, it's just like a facade with nothing behind that, you know what I mean? So I like that idea. I like that, quality over quantity is important. Tanya, let's talk about this. You get to work with a lot of people, a lot of high level people, right? 7-figure entrepreneurs, 7-figure income earners, 8-figure income earners, giant companies right now. You get to travel the world. Seems like you're on the go nonstop. Like every month you got something going on. In working with those people, is there something that you notice? You go to a lot of conferences, you go to a lot of company events, etc. You interact with a lot of people. Is there a pattern that you notice between people that are making it big versus perhaps people that are just trying all their life? Is there something that like stands out to you as a third party, just a photographer, right? Working with those people, is there something that they all seem to have in common that you took for yourself that perhaps helped you take your stuff to the next level?
Yes, I noticed they all are passionate about what they do. They love it so much that they cannot sleep for maybe a day or so, but they absolutely love what they do. And they approach people not to sell them anything. They motivate people, they givers instead of takers. They approach people with ideas. They are all, they're happy. They're just happy people to be surrounded with. It's cool. I like this.
If you like what you do, you can't help but be happy, right?
I
mean, that's just kind of how it is. Awesome, love it. Tanya, talk to me about this. I'm somebody who's brand new. I just started out. I see this big buzz and talk about imagery branding, about branding yourself, about this perception is reality, which is all true. What do I need to know? I mean, where do I start? Okay, where do I start about, presenting myself properly? Is there something that I should be doing first or second, or how do I go about starting to brand myself and starting to cultivate that following? What would be my step 1, 2, or 3, if you would?
Okay, so your number 1 step is identify your community and companies that you want to be surrounded. So you need to find out your target audience, right? So when you find out your target audience, you will have to be consistent about engagement and sharing your story. So that would be the step number 2. And so first, target audience. The second, your consistency, your approach, your engagement. And then the step number 3, you're following up with people. You are making sure that everything that you say or do, like you're going to do, you do it in the right way. And that's how you're going to get results in your social media accounts, in your business. You're going to get customers. Even locally, if you start identify who are your customers, you're approaching them in a different way with ideas, and you follow up. So if you say, I have this business, I have this idea in mind, would you like me to try something like that? And you do what you say, and it's like word of mouth. People will start talking about you, people start remembering you and working with you.
So I can apply these 3 steps to pretty much anything. Like if I'm an affiliate marketer, if I don't have a product, I know a lot of people watching this, they don't have a product, they're promoting something, somebody else's product, totally fine, right? So what's my target audience? Who am I targeting? What's that product doing that my people would benefit from, right? Or what's the benefit that product delivers to the people that are looking for that benefit? So that's my target audience. Number 2, you said, is engage, consistency in your message, right? Give, find out what my target audience needs, how can I be of service to them, and how can I be consistent with my message. I keep saying this thing, I see marketers that are starting out and they're just bouncing off the walls, just like crazy, right? So one day they're up, they're super excited. Another day they're down, and they're posting how depressed they are, how bad their life is because they're not making money trying to build an online business. And they're just dispersing this garbage all around the social media, all around the internet. And then the next day they're up again. They're like, hey, life is great. I just made my first sale. There's no consistency, right? So decide what you want to do, and you want to keep that message congruent. You guys watching this, it's very important. Hear me out. You want to be a person that when people think of you, they think, what's the first thing that comes to their mind, right? So when they think of Tanya Willis, what's the first thing that comes to my mind, right? Quality, inspiration, right? Consistency in the message. I don't see any negativity from you ever. I haven't, at least.
One thing I want to add here is that when people come to your social media page, you only have 10 seconds before they leave. Like if they don't know you,
True.
you only have 10 seconds. So
Right.
they should be able to identify who you are. So if they click on my page, if I only have 10 seconds, there is a camera. You can tell Tanya Willis is a photographer. So what is your passion? What are you doing in a way of how can I identify who you are within 10 seconds?
Right, love it. And then step number 3, you said, is a follow-up, right? So following up can be what? Reinforcement of my messages. Like if I'm an affiliate marketer, if I'm building my list, if I have 10 people, 20 people, or 2 people, following up with them with consistency of my message, who I am, what I'm standing for. And again, I got to become the channel of value, right, to my audience. So like you're the channel of value to your audience, and you're constantly, thinking about how can I be more of a value to them. So if I apply that, I can't help but take my business to the levels that will be above average, as we call 4%er level. Hey Tanya, speaking of the 4%er, you know what we're doing. You've got some really cool stuff coming out here, and we're going to be doing some interesting things with the 4%. What attracted you to the 4% group?
Well, first of all, I love the community. I love it's different to see I love the engagement, right? So when I look at different groups, when people invite me to the groups, there is not that feeling of community standing together and that feeling of like you're in home, that feeling you're home. When I become one of the members in 4% group, I start looking at whatever people posting, and I'm looking at the engagement, and I'm looking at people talking to each other, and I like it. I like the community feeling of the 4%. And another thing that I like that whatever you have your ideas, like whether doesn't matter who you are. I'm a photographer, so I have so many ideas, and you can pretty much make it to reality with anything that you come up with. So you have your support. Not only you have your support, but you also you can create ideas and you can make it happen. And if you not really find out what you want or what you like, you have different encouragement. Like everything about 4% is, to me, it's about helping each other, and that's what I like. That's when I first started, I needed support, and I was looking for groups like this. So to me, as being a photographer, it's encouraging me in business. It's like seeing community of people together. It's just amazing community.
Awesome. Well, Tanya, look, man, we can be here for another 2 or 3 hours here just talking about ideas and just talking about our journeys, and incredible journey you have. I want to congratulate you. In 2 years, what you were able to accomplish in just 2 years is incredible. And you did it so, it sounds so simple though. You know what I mean? It sounds like, there's okay, I just decided what I wanted to do, and I went for it. And I just did the to me was logical stuff, right? But to a lot of people that was not logical, like service. What a concept, right? So congratulations to you on that, Tanya. I know you have some big things coming out. You have, you're working on your product now. You're going to be teaching people, how to do what you've done, and it's going to be great stuff. What would you tell in closing to somebody who is an aspiring entrepreneur, just getting started? Is there a message? Is there something that you would tell that person, maybe who's running into brick walls right now?
Most definitely. Oh, yes, of course. Because when you first start, even if you have your passion and your vision and you're super excited about what you have, you will always have people who are not going to believe what you're doing. There will be always people who say, hey, this is not going to work. And just stay motivated, surround yourself with the group like 4%, and inspire yourself. Listen to your inner voice of saying what you think is right. So even if it's family and friends are going to be pushing and saying, hey, you can do this, you can do this, just think about it not like they're bad, they're protecting you. And there's always going to be bad days. So even if you are so passionate about what you're doing, there's going to be days when you pretty much want to just do nothing, just lay in bed. And these days are like most important days when you actually get yourself out, pull yourself up, and start doing things anyway, doing things that you love. And even know that you don't want to do it, and you know that voice saying, you know, you don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You like, yep, and you're going to do it anyway. That's where you're gonna get your best results. And trust me, my best results, my best pictures, my best projects came from days where not always I wanted to be that excited and doing something, but I was just pushing myself. So keep pushing yourself, whatever, like find out your passion, push on yourself, surround yourself with the community who are going to support you, and people who are not gonna be with you on your journey. You just keep pushing, even if they're family and friends. So if you keep on listening your heart and being consistent about it, you're gonna get results.
Awesome, love it. You know, it's encouraging to hear that even the quote unquote successful have those days where they feel like they're, you know, I don't want to get up today, man. I just want to lay in bed all day long, you know, and do nothing. Happens to all of us, you know. So if you, my friend, are watching this right now, if you have a passion, you know, if you are somebody who wants to go through a life with excitement, with a sense of purpose, right, with a sense of direction, with a sense of, you know what, I want to be a meaningful, you know, part of society, you know what I mean? Like I want to be an individual who can bring something to the world instead of always taking things from the world. Well, we've got to become a resource, right? And every one of us, just like that unique thumbprint that you have, you know, we're all unique, and we can all bring unique ideas, and you know, and we can do things that you can do, things that I cannot do. You know, Tanya Willis can do things that you cannot do, and you can do things that nobody else in the world can do. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Go after your dream. Make it happen. It is your responsibility. It is your duty to make that happen, because the world needs you, my friend. Hey, appreciate you, Tanya Willis. Thank you so much for your, for your time here today.
Thank you.
And you guys are in a 4% group. Obviously, you know, we'll have this posted in the members area. And appreciate you guys. We just crossed 100,000 members in 4% group. Can you believe that? It's incredible. We're going to be at 1 million here, you know, in no time. If you, my friend, are watching this, and if you are not a member of the 4% group yet, I would like to invite you. Okay, make the decision. Become a member of the 4% group. Become a part of something great, and you'll see what you've been missing out. Appreciate you. I'll see you inside. God bless. Don't let anybody steer you in the direction you don't want to go. Make your dreams reality. I'll talk to you next time.